style today and yada yada. But I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about what you did across the pond. After a few years in the league over here, you go overseas, the Moscow Patriots, and that's a name that I wasn't familiar with until I started doing a little bit of research. And it's just a whole rabbit hole over there of how the game, and the NFL in particular, but just the game in general, is taking this much more widespread approach and trying to target these new audiences. Not obviously a new conversation to you. You go over there and play for multiple years and then, decided, that that's not enough. I'm going to stick around and coach for 3 more years. Talk about your experience overseas, summarize that, and just kind of the preconceptions you had before you really made that trip, that journey.
Well, I would say it was, me, I try to be a forward thinker. I try to think ahead of the game. I'll be honest, when I got out of college and, when my professional career was kind of on the downs, because fullbacks were kind of fading. I jumped into sales. My first sales job was car salesman. You know what I mean? They sent me to sales school. And the truth is, I got really good at selling cars. And I remember I was doing a test drive with somebody, and they just told me, they just said, man, they say, I'm not buying this car, but I just want to get you out of the dealership, just to talk to you one-on-one and tell you, man, like you got so much more potential, to just be in here at this car dealership selling cars. Now, the guy didn't know at the time I was probably one of the top salesmen on the East Coast at the time at Nissan, but I was doing really well. I was doing really, really well, but at the same time, I felt like he was right. And so basically, I went to sales school and I learned a lot. And I said, man, what is the most valuable thing I could possibly sell? And, I had all my teammates are in the NFL making all this money and so like that. I'm just like, what is the most valuable thing that I could sell? And I thought the most valuable thing I could sell is myself. And I came up with this wild idea, like, man, you know what? I'm going to go to the biggest country in the world. And I'm gonna scream as loud as I can from the biggest country in the world, and I'm gonna see how much noise I can make. And I'll tell you what, man. My family thought I was crazy. I'm talking about my mom, my dad, but I just did it. I went out there. I went out there to play for the Moscow Patriots, and I started. I guess I could jump on this website called Europlayer. I made a nice profile and. The first thing they said is like, dude, you played in the NFL. You sure you want to come play over here? I'm like, yeah, I want to play football. I just want to play football. I don't want to worry about getting cut. That's what I've been dealing with over here in America. And, they gave me a platform to do that. And I took that situation and I decided that, you know what, I'm going to take this situation one step further. How so? How would I do that? I decided that I'm going to go and, take this situation and actually go to different cities and try to, be an ambassador for football for the for American football internationally. And at the time I seen that I could clearly see that America was, trying to, the NFL was trying to expand overseas and trying to do, different things to kind of create a blueprint internationally for American football. So it kind of just took work. It kind of worked out, and I it just kind of worked out at the right time. And, started off playing over there, started going to different cities, doing master classes. And I went from city to city doing master classes. And football just kind of blew up over there. And then next thing you know, I'm getting a call to go over to Far East Federal University to come be there. The head football coach. They wanted to start a football program in the international university. Because they've been playing football in China, Japan, and internationally, and at their international schools. And our international school at the time I was at, we competed for those same type of students. We competed for students in Russia, students, in China. So we competed for students in North Korea. So we thought bringing American football to Far East Federal University would be something that would attract more students. And it was something that kind of just took off and kind of just blew up in front of our face.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and it's a lot of the same ideas as a lot of the schools over here. You add on that football program it could be a plethora of reasons, but for a lot of them, it's to attract students, to bring more wholesome, I guess, connected college experience as we've come to know it, at least in America. And it's a very interesting deal. Talk about just like that. Talk about that coaching experience over there. that had to differ, I would assume, a good deal from your duties, maybe coaching down at Florida Memorial now.
Oh yeah, it was very different. I mean, down there, he just kind of gave me some footballs and rolled it out, rolled the footballs out, and just said, "Hey,
You might have had the
give us the
same
football
equipment
program,"
as that Flomo
Yeah,
team back in '58.
yeah, for sure, for sure. It was rough. I mean, it was rough. I didn't know what I was walking into. It was rough, man. And, but it was a great experience. For me, I learned time management. I learned time management because I had to meet with each one of those guys. Those position groups. Throughout the day around class schedules and stuff like that. And literally, I took the whole day. To get my meetings off and stuff like that for my student athletes. I learned how to use interpreters. I learned how to lean on other people when that was something had a big problem with, and I learned how to lean on other people and how to trust other people, and I kind of learned how to operate a program by myself
Yeah.
first, and it kind of gave me a background and knowledge that a lot of people don't have. As far as startups and stuff like that, I'm pretty good at those, and that's why I guess people seem to turn around at Flomo so fast.
Hell yeah. All comes full circle, man. All of
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
Yeah. And thankfully, you didn't have to start maybe the program here from the ground up, but I'm sure at times it certainly may have felt like that. But Coach, cannot say
Definitely.
enough. I appreciate you coming on here, man. You got an incredible
Thank you.
story. I'm glad I could at least hear, a good portion of it. Definitely going to be following up with you guys. So wishing you nothing but the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us. And like I said, I have had a blast tonight, man. We had a blast on the call, and thank you for having me.
Of course. See you, Coach. Have a good night.
See you. You have a great one.
All right, I appreciate Coach joining us tonight. Like I said, one of the more interesting stories we've had on here. He's got a good thing going down there, and don't let the record fool you. Those guys, like you said, they're going to be a weapon in that conference for some years to come. Don't be surprised if they continue to make more noise. Did crack me up saying he sleeps a little bit easier knowing Coach Soch is not in the conference anymore. I love that. And how about the confidence from him talking about his team maybe not being a stepping stone, but having the opportunities there for all of his prospective student athletes is really cool stuff. But